What if I told you that one Gilligan's Island star has no grave, another rests in the Pacific Ocean, and only one member of the original cast is still alive today? When the show premiered in 1964, no one imagined it would outlive nearly everyone who made it famous. 62 years later, 8 familiar faces are gone. Millions remember the laughs and unforgettable characters, but few know what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. Behind this classic sitcom are stories of war heroes, family tragedies, unexpected fortunes, and touching final wishes. Today we'll trace the final journeys of the Gilligan's Island cast from a Reno cemetery and a Hollywood mausoleum to ashes scattered at sea, and reveal the remarkable story of the last surviving castaway. At number 1 is Bob Denver, the actor whose portrayal of Gilligan became one of the most recognizable characters in television history. When Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964, Denver was 29 years old and already known to audiences from his role as the laid-back beatnik Maynard G. Krebs on The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. Yet it was Gilligan, the clumsy, good-hearted castaway with endless optimism, that defined his career and secured his place in American pop culture. Although viewers often associated him with his lovable on-screen foolishness, those who worked with Denver described a very different man behind the scenes. He was thoughtful, intelligent, widely read, and known throughout the industry for his kindness. He also used his influence to support his fellow cast members, helping secure better recognition for Russell Johnson and Dawn Wells in both the opening credits and promotional material. Denver was married 4 times and became the father of 4 children, Megan, Patrick, Emily, and Colin. His final marriage to Dreama Perry remained strong until the end of his life. In 2005, following quadruple bypass heart surgery, his health declined rapidly after a diagnosis of throat cancer. Bob Denver passed away on September 2, 2005 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at the age of 70, surrounded by his wife and children. He was cremated, and his ashes were entrusted to his family. Though Bob Denver is gone, generations of viewers still remember the man who made Gilligan impossible to forget. At number 2 is Alan Hale Jr., the actor who brought warmth, humor, and heart to the role of the skipper. He was 43 years old when Gilligan's Island debuted in 1964, already a seasoned performer, and the son of renowned character actor Alan Hale Sr. In fact, his connection to Hollywood stretched back to infancy when he appeared in one of his father's silent films. While the skipper was written as a loud and often exasperated sea captain, Hale transformed him into something far more memorable, a gruff but caring father figure whose frustration with Gilligan never overshadowed his affection. His famous little buddy catchphrase and comic reactions became some of the show's most beloved moments. What many viewers never realized was that Hale's nautical confidence came from real experience. He served in the United States Coast Guard during World War II, giving authenticity to the character he played. After the series ended, Hale embraced the role that had made him famous. He opened the popular Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel restaurant and often greeted guests wearing the skipper's trademark cap. Married twice and a father of 4, he remained devoted to family throughout his life. Hale passed away from thymus cancer on January 2, 1990 at the age of 68. Honoring his wishes, his family chose cremation, and his ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. For millions of fans, he remains the captain who never stopped looking after his little buddy. At number 3 is Hans Conried, a performer whose unmistakable voice was familiar to generations of Americans long before he landed on Gilligan's Island. When he first appeared as the absent-minded pilot Wrong-Way Feldman in 1964, he was 47 years old and already one of the most respected character actors in radio, television, and animation. Though he appeared in only 2 episodes, Feldman became one of the series' most memorable recurring guest characters. Away from the island, Conried built an extraordinary career that stretched across several decades. Millions knew him as the voice of Captain Hook and Mr. Darling in Disney's 1953 animated classic Peter Pan. Others remembered him as Snidely Whiplash Wally Walrus and the eccentric Uncle Tanoose on Make Room for Daddy. Born in Baltimore in 1917, he studied at Columbia University before joining Orson Welles' famed Mercury Theater, where his distinctive voice first attracted national attention. Conried married Margaret Grant in 1942, and their marriage lasted 4 decades until his death. Together they raised 4 children while he continued working steadily in film, television, and voice acting. On January 4, 1982, he suffered a major heart attack and passed away the following day in Burbank, California, at age 64. In keeping with his wishes, his body was donated to medical science. As a result, there is no widely known gravesite for fans to visit. Fittingly, a man whose voice became immortal in American entertainment chose one final act of service after the curtain fell. At number 4 is Natalie Schafer, the elegant actress who brought Lovey Howell to life with a charm and warmth that audiences never forgot. When Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964, most viewers believed Schafer was in her early 50s. In reality, she was already 63 years old, having carefully guarded her true age for much of her career. Even some of her closest friends were surprised when the truth became public after her death. Born in Red Bank, New Jersey in 1900, Schafer began her career on Broadway before making the transition to Hollywood in the 1940s. Although Lovey Howell was originally conceived as a wealthy socialite with little depth, Schafer encouraged the writers to make her more lovable, absent-minded, and genuinely devoted to her husband. The result was a character whose kindness often balanced the show's comedy and made Lovey one of television's most endearing millionaires. Off-screen, Schafer married actor Louis Calhern in 1934, but the marriage ended in divorce and produced no children. After later losing fiancé Charles Butterworth in a tragic automobile accident, she never remarried. Wise investments in Southern California real estate quietly made her one of the wealthiest members of the cast. When she died of liver cancer in Beverly Hills on April 10, 1991, at age 90, she left much of her fortune to charitable causes, including a substantial gift to the actor's home. Cremated, according to her wishes, her ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. In the end, the woman who played a millionaire on television became remembered not for her wealth, but for her generosity. At number 5 is Vito Scotti, one of Hollywood's most versatile character actors and a familiar face to television audiences for decades. On Gilligan's Island, he appeared in several memorable guest roles, including the eccentric scientist Dr. Boris Balanoff, and a variety of colorful characters that showcased his remarkable range. Industry insiders often referred to him as the man of 1,000 faces, a nickname he earned through a career built on transformation. Born Vito Giusto Scozzari in San Francisco, on January 26, 1918. Scotti spent part of his childhood in Italy before returning to the United States in the 1920s. His career eventually carried him from nightclubs and stage productions to Broadway film and television, where his expressive features and talent for accents made him one of the busiest character actors of his era. In 1949, he married Irene Scozzari, a former dancer, and together they raised 2 children, Carmen and Ricardo. Following serious health challenges faced by his daughter, Carmen Scotti became deeply involved in charitable fundraising efforts connected to medical research and educational programs. After Irene's passing in 1979, he later married Beverly Scotti, who remained by his side throughout his final years. Vito Scotti died of lung cancer on June 5, 1996, at the Motion Picture and Television Country House in Woodland Hills, California, at the age of 78. He was laid to rest at Hollywood Forever Cemetery alongside Irene. For half a century, Hollywood asked him to become everyone except himself. Yet behind every accent, costume, and disguise was a gifted performer whose own story was just as remarkable as any character he played. At number 6 is Jim Backus, the unmistakable voice behind millionaire Thurston Howell III. By the time Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964, Backus was already one of the most recognizable performers in American entertainment. Audiences knew him as the voice of the nearsighted Mr. Magoo, a character he had played since 1949, while film fans remembered his acclaimed performance as James Dean's father in Rebel Without a Cause. Born in Cleveland, Ohio on February 25, 1913, and raised in nearby Bratenahl, Backus attended the Kentucky Military Institute before studying acting in New York. His career flourished in radio, film, television, and animation, where his distinctive voice became his trademark. Yet, despite decades of success, it was the wealthy and delightfully eccentric Thurston Howell III who introduced him to an entirely new generation of viewers. Backus was married twice. His second marriage to author and actress Henny Backus lasted 46 years and became one of Hollywood's most enduring partnerships. Together they wrote several humorous books and remained devoted companions throughout his declining health. In later years, Parkinson's disease gradually limited his ability to perform, reducing his appearance in the franchise's later reunion projects. Jim Backus died on July 3, 1989, at age 76 from pneumonia related to Parkinson's disease. He was laid to rest at Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park in Los Angeles, where Henny would later join him. Surrounded by some of Hollywood's most famous names, his grave marks the resting place of a man whose remarkable career stretched far beyond a desert island, yet whose greatest legacy remains the millionaire millions still remember with affection. At number 7 is Kurt Russell, the youngest performer on this list, and the only one whose fame continued to grow long after his brief visit to Gilligan's Island. In 1965, at just 13 years old, he appeared in the episode Gilligan Meets Jungle Boy, playing a wild child raised in isolation who could do little more than mimic the words spoken around him. Even then, Hollywood executives saw something special. Walt Disney had already signed the young actor to a long-term contract, making him one of the studio's most promising stars. Born on March 17, 1951 in Springfield, Massachusetts, Russell was the son of actor Bing Russell and grew up surrounded by the entertainment industry. Throughout the late 1960s and 1970s, he became Disney's leading young star before successfully making the difficult transition into adult roles. Over the decades, he built one of Hollywood's most durable careers, starring in classics such as Escape from New York, The Thing, Tombstone, and Stargate. Russell married actress Susan Hubley in 1979, and they welcomed a son, Boston, before divorcing in 1983. That same year, he began a relationship with Goldie Hawn, a partnership that has endured for more than 4 decades. Together, they raised their son Wyatt while becoming one of Hollywood's most admired couples. Now 75 and still active in film and television, Kurt Russell remains a rare example of a child actor who successfully reinvented himself across generations. For most performers, a Gilligan's Island appearance was a nostalgic footnote. For Kurt Russell, it was merely the first page of a remarkable career that is still being written. At number 8 is Russell Johnson, the actor who brought intelligence, calm, and reliability to the role of the professor. When Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964, Johnson was 39 years old, but the experiences that shaped him had begun long before Hollywood ever called. Born near Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania in 1924, he was the eldest of 6 children and faced hardship early in life after losing his father as a boy. He later attended Girard College in Philadelphia, a school that helped provide opportunities for fatherless children. Like many men of his generation, Johnson's life was forever changed by World War II. Serving as a B-24 bombardier in the United States Army Air Forces, he survived a crash in the Philippines after his aircraft was shot down in 1945. He returned home with serious injuries and several military decorations, including the Purple Heart Bronze Star and Air Medal. Using the GI Bill after the war, he studied acting and gradually built a successful career in film and television. Although he spent years portraying tough characters and villains in westerns, Gilligan's Island finally made him a household name. Viewers admired the professor's resourcefulness and quiet confidence qualities that reflected much of Johnson's own character. Behind the scenes, however, life brought personal tragedy. After losing his son David in 1994, he became a dedicated supporter of HIV/AIDS awareness and research efforts. Johnson spent his final years with his wife Constance Dane on Bainbridge Island, Washington. He passed away peacefully in his sleep on January 16, 2014, at age 89. Cremated, according to his wishes, his ashes were entrusted to his family. For many fans, he will always be remembered as the professor, but his greatest achievements came long before a coconut radio ever appeared on television.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please support us by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot to us.